Welcome back to Homespot, where we transform ordinary backyards into extraordinary outdoor sanctuaries. Today we are diving into the ancient Japanese philosophy of Wabi-Sabi, discovering how imperfection creates the most stunning gardens imaginable. If you've been searching for landscape designs that celebrate natural beauty and age gracefully over time, you are in exactly the right place. Let's explore 18 gorgeous ideas that will completely transform how you view your outdoor space. Transform your backyard with irregular stepping stones that celebrate the beauty of imperfection. These weathered stones, adorned with soft moss and natural patina, create a meandering path through your garden landscape. The Japanese philosophy of Wabi-Sabi teaches us to find profound beauty in age and decay. Each crack and imperfection tells a story of time passing. As morning light dances across the textured surfaces, you will discover how these humble elements ground your space in tranquility. Let nature guide the way with stones that have evolved gracefully over the years. Embrace the timeless elegance of reclaimed wood in your outdoor space with structures that have weathered the elements naturally. Silver timber pergolas showcase exposed grain patterns and gentle splits that add character rather than diminish value. Wabi-Sabi design celebrates materials that age gracefully, transforming over seasons. These rustic structures become living elements of your garden, evolving alongside climbing vines and wisteria. The weathered wood patina reflects decades of sun, rain, and wind. Create architectural interest while honoring the impermanent nature of all things. Your garden becomes a meditation on time itself. Discover the velvety luxury of moss gardens, where emerald textures carpet stones and ancient bark. Various moss species create tapestries ranging from bright lime to deep forest green in shaded corners. This living ground cover thrives in moisture and low light, requiring minimal intervention from gardeners. Wabi-Sabi finds perfection in these humble plants that colonize surfaces without human direction. The glistening surfaces after rain create moments of quiet contemplation. Small ferns emerging between moss-covered rocks add layers of natural beauty. Your garden becomes a sanctuary celebrating nature's gentle, persistent growth. Create water features with organic shapes and irregular edges that mirror natural lakes and streams. These wabi-sabi ponds embrace algae growth and mineral deposits as part of their evolving character. Native aquatic plants establish themselves freely along the margins without rigid control. Lily pads float asymmetrically across reflective surfaces, creating ever-changing compositions. The philosophy encourages acceptance of natural processes rather than fighting against them. Weathered stones positioned thoughtfully around the edges enhance the naturalistic design. Your pond becomes a living ecosystem that transforms beautifully through seasons. Position traditional stone lanterns covered in lichen and weather staining as contemplative focal points throughout your garden. These ancient granite pieces show beautiful erosion patterns accumulated over many years of exposure. The gray-green lichen growth adds organic texture and natural artistry to carved surfaces. Wabi-Sabi celebrates how functional objects gain profound meaning through age and use. Morning mist accentuates the timeless quality of weathered stone in quiet garden corners. Surround these lanterns with moss patches and shade-loving ferns. Your garden achieves a meditative atmosphere honoring impermanence and natural transformation. Let ornamental grasses grow in free-flowing clumps that sway naturally with every breeze passing through your garden. Feather ryegrass and maiden grass develop seed heads that catch golden light beautifully. This untamed approach avoids rigid pruning and formal arrangements that require constant maintenance. Wabi-Sabi gardening gives you permission to embrace natural growth habits without guilt or judgment. Bronze fennel and native perennials establish their own patterns over time. The wild, unstructured beauty reflects nature's wisdom better than any human design. Your landscape becomes a celebration of organic movement and spontaneity. Incorporate weathered corten steel planters and edging that develops stunning rust patinas in burnt orange and amber tones. The natural oxidation process creates unique surface textures and color variations on every piece. These industrial materials gain character and visual interest through exposure to the elements. Wabi-Sabi finds beauty in transformation, where rust becomes art rather than damage. Architectural succulents and textural grasses complement the aged metal aesthetic perfectly. The contrast between organic plants and oxidized steel creates dynamic compositions. Your garden achieves sophisticated rusticity through materials that improve with age. Repurpose cracked ceramic vessels and chipped terracotta pots as rustic planters celebrating imperfection. These damaged pieces gain new purpose, holding trailing sedums and hardy sempervivums in charming arrangements. Wabi-Sabi teaches that objects become more beautiful and meaningful as they show signs of use. The earthy clay tones and weathered surfaces create visual warmth throughout your garden spaces. Cluster these imperfect pots on weathered shelves or stone surfaces for maximum impact. Each crack and missing piece tells a unique story of the vessel's journey. Your garden honors the past while creating living beauty. Build organic boundaries using unstripped, gnarled branches and silver driftwood, showing their authentic natural forms. These asymmetrical fences blend seamlessly with surrounding landscape, rather than dominating the view. The twisted wood pieces create sculptural interest while serving practical purposes as garden barriers. Wabi-Sabi celebrates raw materials in their most honest state, without artificial refinement or treatment. Climbing jasmine and wild roses interweave naturally with the weathered wood over time. The fence becomes a living element that evolves with your garden. Your boundaries dissolve between cultivated space and wild nature. Install traditional tsukubai water basins showing centuries of wear with mineral staining and smooth surfaces. These low stone vessels positioned among moss and ferns create contemplative focal points for meditation. Water flowing over carved surfaces has gradually shaped the stone through countless seasons. Wabi-Sabi honors functional objects that bear witness to human interaction across generations. The gray and ochre mineral deposits add natural artistry to ancient granite. A simple bamboo ladle resting across the basin completes the serene composition. Your garden achieves timeless tranquility through elements embracing age and impermanence. Design Zen-inspired gravel areas with hand-rake patterns showing organic irregularities and spontaneous disturbances. Weathered boulders positioned asymmetrically throughout the space anchor the minimalist composition. Allow volunteer plants and small weeds to emerge naturally between stones without immediate removal. Wabi-Sabi embraces gardens as living entities in constant evolution rather than static perfect displays. The fine gray gravel texture creates visual calm while accommodating natural changes. These spaces invite contemplation on impermanence and the beauty of acceptance. Your gravel garden becomes a meditation on letting go of control. richly diverse garden beds, showcasing plants in all life stages, including fading blooms and weathered foliage. Combines silvery lamb's ears with rough hostis, feathery astilbe, and bronze-hue Terra in naturalistic drifts. This layered approach avoids symmetry and celebrates the organic growth patterns nature provides. Wabi-Sabi finds beauty in impermanence, honoring plants throughout their entire seasonal cycle. Slug-damaged leaves and spent flowers remain part of the composition rather than being immediately removed. The varied textures create visual interest that changes daily. Your garden reflects the authentic rhythms of growth and decay. Arrange weathered clay pots, showing beautiful mineral efflorescence and surface flaking in asymmetrical groupings. These vessels range from pale salmon to deep burnt sienna with crusty white salt deposits. Years of use and exposure have transformed simple, functional objects into sculptural garden elements. Wabi-Sabi celebrates how time adds character and depth to humble materials like fired clay. Plant herbs and succulents that spill naturally over the weathered rims. Position your collection on aged wooden steps or stone surfaces for enhanced visual harmony. Your garden achieves earthy elegance through simple containers honored for their imperfections. Allow sections of your garden to grow wild with native species, self-seeding freely throughout the seasons. Black-eyed Susans, purple coneflowers, and wild asters create unstructured tapestries of color and height. This approach embraces all stages of plant life, from fresh blooms to dried seed heads. Wabi-Sabi accepts and celebrates nature's organic cycles without excessive human intervention or control. Butterflies and pollinators thrive in these meadow spaces that evolve naturally over time. The late summer display shows the full natural progression of wildflower growth. Your garden becomes a haven for biodiversity and spontaneous beauty. Position sun-bleached wood pieces with smooth, silvered surfaces as natural sculptures throughout your landscape. These twisted forms carved by water and time serve as contemplative focal points and informal plant supports. The ghostly pale, coloring, and organic shapes add sculptural interest without overwhelming the garden. Wabi-Sabi honors the transformation of natural materials through environmental forces into objects of beauty. Driftwood, placed among native grasses and perennials, creates harmonious compositions celebrating nature's artistry. Each piece carries the story of its journey through water and weather. Your garden gains depth through these found treasures. Create meditative cairns by balancing naturally shaped river stones carefully without mortar or adhesive. These precarious compositions in gray, ochre, and charcoal hues invite contemplation of balance and impermanence. Each stone's individual character contributes to the whole while maintaining its unique identity. Wabi-Sabi appreciates simplicity, asymmetry, and a mindful act of working with imperfect natural materials. Position your stone stacks in quiet garden corners among low ground covers and moss. The balanced rocks demonstrate how beauty emerges from accepting rather than controlling nature. Your garden becomes a space for meditative practice and reflection. Embrace the cool beauty of shaded spaces beneath mature trees with layers of ferns and hostas. Japanese painted ferns and ostrich ferns thrive in low light alongside moss colonizing fallen logs. These understory plantings celebrate dampness and natural decay processes as essential elements of healthy ecosystems. Wabi-Sabi finds profound beauty in spaces often overlooked or considered challenging for gardening. Decomposing leaves add organic matter and rich texture to the forest floor composition. The misty green atmosphere creates a sanctuary from bright sunlight. Your shaded garden becomes a cool retreat honoring nature's hidden places. Aged brick or stone walls to develop natural patina with crumbling mortar and beautiful staining. Ferns, sedums, and trailing plants colonize crevices and gaps, creating spontaneous vertical gardens over time. This living wall evolved without formal planting, demonstrating nature's persistent creative force. Wabi-Sabi celebrates imperfection, where human-made structures and natural growth merge gracefully through the years. Surface erosion and self-seeded vegetation create three-dimensional texture and visual interest. The weathered wall becomes more beautiful as it ages and breaks down. Your garden gains vertical beauty through embracing decay and natural succession. These 18 Wabi-Sabi garden designs prove that true beauty lies in embracing imperfection and natural transformation. From weathered stone pathways to aged wooden structures, each element celebrates the passage of time rather than fighting against it. If you found inspiration in these ideas, show your support by hitting that like button, subscribing to Homespot for more stunning garden transformations, and sharing your favorite Wabi-Sabi concept in the comments below. Happy gardening!